fence with a great berm behind it. But I'm going to ask for all your help in that area today, because this will be the first time we've ever shot anything other than number 8 shot on this clay course. So we're going to be real careful and have a great time with it, but you got a special treat there with these automatic weapons that you're going to get to shoot today. During today's shoot, we're going to be shooting 12 and 20 gauge ammo. Anybody got anything other than a 12 or a 20? That's great. No need for anybody to carry ammo. It'll be at your station when you arrive at the station, so don't carry it with you during the day. As you move through the course, we're going to need you to keep your over and unders broke open so that everyone can see those guns are safe and clear. And if you've got a semi-automatic or a pump, you want to keep that action open with the action back and the safety on. The other thing you want to do, and it's real important with those pumps and semi-automatics, is keep your muzzle up or down. Don't carry it over your shoulder. It's pointing at someone behind you. Don't carry it like a suitcase. Just makes everyone feel a lot better if you keep it up or down. When you're not shooting, there are gun racks at every station all around the barn. If you're not shooting, rather than holding your gun, stand it up in a gun rack. That's the safest place for it to reside. Once you get to your shooting stations, there are different forms of stations out there. Some will have a full window frame around the opening out front. Some will just have a rail. In all cases, there will be a rail, and you always want to put your gun over the rail and load, shoot your targets, and then unload completely before you bring the gun back over the rail. Sometimes people will try to load with it in front of them behind the rail. What happens is they have trouble, and they turn to the trapper or to someone in the group for assistance, and they're turning toward the rear with that gun. So always load over the rail. I mentioned 12 and 20 gauge ammo. The 20 gauge ammo is yellow universally. It's a smaller diameter. If you drop it down in a 12 gauge gun, it will get stuck in that barrel most times and have to be removed with some type of rod. That's not an issue. The issue becomes loading the 12 in behind it, not realizing it's in that barrel, and then pulling the trigger, and it could be fatal. So be very careful of the yellow 20 gauge ammo if you're shooting a 12 gauge gun. If you do drop one in by accident, just hand it to your trapper and he'll get it removed for you. We have eye protection at the stations. You need to wear eye protection. If you have your own, that's fine. At the station, use it, but then leave it for the shooters coming behind you. They'll all rotate through there, so don't carry it from station to station. Ear protection is in the dispenser right behind Ron here. If you would, grab that. Just spin a couple of those out and take them with you. And then the last thing on safety is a hang fire with these shotguns. Sometimes you pull the trigger, the hammer or the firing pin will hit the primer, but it won't go off immediately. In those situations, very important, keep your muzzle downrange, let your trapper know, and he's going to keep it downrange for as long as 30 seconds to make sure it's not a slow burning primer. Some of the worst accidents occur in a hang fire situation where it just goes click, you turn to the rear, and 5-10 seconds later the gun discharges. So if you have a hang fire, let your trapper know and he'll take control of the gun for you. That's pretty much it on safety. Any questions regarding safety? At the AR station, we have some incredible Green Beret and former soldiers that are in the business of consulting with people about range development and using these weapons. When you get to that station, you're going to have 4 shots from this AR. In all of your activity, loading, shooting your 4 targets, and unloading the gun will happen from a seated position at a shooting bench. That's designed to make sure that that gun's always downrange, in control of someone's hands while they're shooting. So just remember when you get there, 4 of you will be queued up getting some instruction. 2 of you at a time will shoot your targets, and all your shooting and loading the gun happens from a seated position. If there is a queue that builds up at that station, the folks and the teams coming up and waiting will wait on the opposite side of the roadway. We've got some chairs there for you and some drinks and a cooler, and you'll just wait patiently behind until it's your turn to shoot. But that covers safety. We've been doing these shoots for a long time at Meadowwood. We've got a great safety record. I'd like to think some of it's because we focus in on it, but I have to acknowledge that I think the greatest reason is God's hand over us and protection, and I just acknowledge Him as we get ready to host a shoot and go through this course today. The format of the shoot, we're going to shoot 50 targets over 13 stations. You'll be shooting either true pairs, report pairs. There's 2 stations where you'll shoot a single rabbit and then a report pair, but your trapper will work you through that. I mentioned the AR station. It's 4 shots per shooter. We're going to shoot 1 shot